You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table. Where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, huh? Laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock it. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
You can't get in shape because you don't have an.
Hello, 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 hello. Okay, let me come back in because I'm not hearing you. Oh, there you
I'm here.
go.
I'm here. Girl, I told you this
Okay.
stupid computer be tripping. I need to take this thing back to the Nebraska Furniture Mart and get me a new one.
Girl.
Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Aisha. Stockton. Hey, what's going on? How is everybody doing? Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Welcome back, Carmel Diva, our
Hey,
diva
hey,
of this sector of YouTube. But
the
how's it
diva
been
in
going for you?
residence.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
I'm blessed. I can't complain too much. And if I did, who would care?
Exactly. I try my best to not complain so much. I had posted something on Facebook last week. I was like, man, people be really trying my patience, but I'm trying so hard not to complain because there's so many other people out here who is dealing with much bigger things, in their life. And the latest trending news that we have here, besides the hurricanes that tore through what was it, Louisiana and
Uh-huh.
Arkansas,
Yeah.
is the passing of our dear Chadwick Boseman. How do you feel
Bozeman.
about that, man?
I was really shocked and hurt, um, just because I have followed his career from the beginning, and the his he was such a broad actor. He could act in just about anything. And to lose such a bright young man who was very humble,
Mm-hmm.
that's is trouble. He died from this. We
Mm-hmm.
really need to get ourselves as people in general, but especially as black people, we really need to start kind of getting over the past and taking better care of our health, be it mental or physical health. We need to start doing better. And
I
it's
agree.
just sad that his life was cut short, we
Mm.
think, but look at how much he crammed into those 43 years.
Yes, I mean not just the 43 years. I mean all the way back from college and actors training over in the UK, but the last 4 years he did
Right.
over 7 movies,
Mhm.
over 7 projects in 4 years while battling with cancer, colon cancer. And you
Right.
know that
Right.
I have a close personal experience with this with my mother passing.
Right.
And even his last days, his last tweet when he was tweeting about Kamala Harris, telling everybody we need to get out there and we need to not sleep on democracy and get involved in democracy and
Hmm.
things like that. He still, even though he was lots slimmer than he still looked it great.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
had no idea. We had no
It
idea.
wasn't like it wasn't like kind of well, Patrick Swayze died of pancreatic cancer, but you know how he went from being full body to just looking sunken in, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it wasn't like that with Chadwick. It wasn't a dramatic weight loss where
Right.
it
Right.
looked sickly on him. Because
Yeah.
I honestly did not know.
I didn't either. I had no idea. And when I think back and look back, like I was watching a tribute, right?
Hmm.
And um when they were talking about how extenuating was the rehearsals and the practices and for the role of Black Panther, we saw it on screen, everything they
Yeah.
did. But like Forrest Whitaker was talking about the fight scene right before they crowned him as king, when they was in the
Hmm.
water, they had their swords, and he was talking about how they had to do it over and over and over and over, and the things that they had to do repetitiously just in that movie alone for the black. I mean,
Right.
jumping off of things, flying off of things, just doing all kind of different things. And that was like what, 2016?
Well, yeah, they filmed it in like 2016, right
Right.
around the
So
time he was diagnosed. Uh huh.
exactly. Exactly. And you have to keep in mind, even though he was diagnosed in 2016, he could have had it since like 2015.
Right.
So
Right.
because that's colon cancer, they say, is one of those things that can be really tricky. It can be, you can just find out today and you can be at stage 4 tomorrow. So it's very
Hmm.
progressive. But for him to do all that he did in those 4 years, it man, he did more in those 4 years than he did in his entire life while dealing with colon cancer. That's amazing. I just
Right.
think
The
that's
body
really
of work that
amazing.
he left is phenomenal. He was a
Hmm.
very good character actor where he brought historical figures to life. You know,
Hmm.
he brought them back in the forefront. I should say they were already alive, but he brought them to the forefront. Like
Oh yeah.
Jackie Robinson when he portrayed James Brown, and then when he did Thurgood Marshall, I I was blown away.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a
That was
excellent
a good one.
movie. That was an excellent
He can
movie.
play any role thrown his way. Yes, yes,
Right,
he can play any
right.
role, from a superhero to in a racist movie where you're dealing with, the Black Baseball League and James Brown. He had to deal with racism and back in the day and everything. And one thing that his daughter has said, James Brown's daughter, she has said that she will forever be indebted to him for how hard he worked, how aimlessly he worked to embody her father, making her dad's story come to life on the big screen. She said there were
Uh-huh.
times where, like, James Brown dance, only a few people can really get that dance down,
Right.
especially the groove part where the feet is just shuffling. She said he worked over 5 hours every single day just doing the
I
dance
believe it.
rehearsal.
Cause he had it down.
Just
He
doing the
had it
dance
down.
rehearsal. Yes. Yes. So he
Yes,
worked
Miss Hogg,
tirelessly.
yes. He was
Hmm.
definitely a gift to us, and he was a very diverse actor. He was. He
Sure
was.
was. Hey, Miss Hall. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the chat, everybody. And
Hey,
shout
hey,
out to all
y'all.
the members. Shout out to the members in the chat. I see those member signs next to y'all
Member
name. Again, if you want
squad.
to become yeah, the member, hey, the Hood Nation. If you want to become a part of the the Hood Table Squad. All you gotta do is click the join button, and YouTube will take it from there. But yeah, you're right, Miss Hall. She said great, diverse. Yep, diverse actor. He was definitely a gift to us. She said rest in peace. I think Aisha said something. She said it's sad. Yeah, it is really sad.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
it's really sad. It's sad anyway when people die, but it's just certain people who like when I die, I want people to be like, I ain't saying they gotta like have 2 million people at my funeral, all that kind of stuff. But I want to be remembered for something besides just being
Right.
a mom, a sister, a brother, a worker.
I always say,
But you know
I
what
always said that when I die, well, I always said I wanted to preach one sermon,
I mean?
and my
I
sermon
think you
would
could.
be, my
I do.
sermon would be, what does that dash mean? And
Mm,
what I mean by that, what does your dash mean between your
uh-huh.
born date and your date of death? What did you
Mm-hmm.
make? What did you do? What made your life memorable, remarkable? What does your dash mean?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to help somebody else, to elevate somebody else?
Mm.
I'm still
Between the
working
time
on
that you were
that.
born to the time that you between the time that you were born and the time that you pass over to go on to glory.
Hmm.
That's something to think about. It
It
really is
is.
something to think about. Because the thing is, there are some people who do a whole lot in this world. Like there are some people who work to the bone for all their
Right.
life to take care of their family and their home. And then there are some people who work to the bone and they still impact a whole bunch of lives from the time they were
Hmm.
born to the time they are passed on. So it's one thing to just take care of house and home, and it's one thing to empower people, uplift people, and help others strive to be something greater in life than maybe you are. Like the speech that he gave.
Basically to be a witness, to
Exactly.
go out and be a disciple, a living embodiment of what we
Mhm.
say we are.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I like what he said in his speech when he went back in 2018 to his alma mater at Howard and delivered a speech for their 150th graduation commencement. A lot of people have been replaying his speech, but it was really powerful. And I read the speech and I'm like, oh my God, that was a really long speech. I mean, that was a really he was long-winded in that speech, but every single word from the first word to the last word was heartfelt, it was meaningful, it was powerful. And I mean,
Mhm.
just like
Mhm.
when he was saying, when he said, when God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. God will move someone that's holding you back away from the door and put someone there who will open it up for you if it's meant for you. And he said, I
Hmm.
don't know what your future is, but if you are willing to take the harder way, the more complicated way, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to be more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. I love that part of his speech.
Hmm.
And he had a
It was
lot
a
of things
beautiful
moved out of
speech.
his
I
way.
I felt
It
that.
was. It was. It very was. And I think
Oh
when
yeah.
he was talking about when he mentioned
I just read before we came on too,
mhm,
where his hometown in South Carolina.
uh-huh. You say his hometown in South Carolina? Hey, notice me, how you doing? Like, share,
Yeah, his home.
subscribe.
Hey, sweetheart. Yeah, but his hometown in South Carolina, they are they got thousands of people petitioning right now to have a Confederate statue taken down and one of him put up.
I heard that. I heard
I'm
that.
like,
That's what's
hey,
Hey,
Cam.
what's What up, Wavy Cam? Talking about rest in peace, Chad, aka Black Panther, Wakanda forever. That part.
Right.
That
If he's not
that part.
remembered for anything else, he will forever be remembered as
Yes,
King T'Challa.
right. But you know what else? What else was very inspiring about him was how they said like nobody knew what he was going through personally. Everybody just thought this man, he's the greatest right now. He's the GOAT right now. He's the new black superhero. And all this time when he was going through this illness, this sickness of his very own, he was out there at places like St. Jude talking to
Right.
other patients, motivating them, taking them
Right.
toys, signing their autographs. I mean, giving them gifts and
Just
talking to them, praying
listening.
with them,
Sitting
listening
and
to them.
just listening.
Yes,
Because
just
I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of time it's not so much the gifts and this and that. It's somebody who spends their time and
mhm,
honestly just listens to
right.
what you're going through. And
Yep.
sometimes just that part of it, it,
Hmm.
it that's a healing part where you're able to
It
get that
is.
off of your chest and have somebody who is listening, and
Hmm.
they may not even understand what you're going through, but they're listening,
Right.
and
And,
that's a
Notice me
beautiful
said
thing. And go ahead.
his worth. His worth actually is too right. Notice me. Oh, I'm just sorry, Karma. I'm just reading the chat. Notice me said his ethics are impeccable. To be with cancer, I work 18 hours set, makes me feel like such a lazy human being. Who you telling? Notice me.
Right.
Shoot, I be complaining about
Right.
my knees and my back and my neck and my back, and I'm like, he's up there working. Over, I'm serious though, like over 7 roles,
Right.
over 7, and this is totally different entire characters in each movie. All the scripts he had to learn. I mean,
And then to learn,
child,
because he
I couldn't
was
do it.
taking on roles of people who had lived, he's got to learn their mannerisms, how their cadence of
Exactly.
talk, and how they walked, and how they stood,
Mhm.
and that's, I mean, those little
Right. It wasn't
intricate
just a role.
details.
It wasn't just a
Right.
role. It was he had to put his foot. He literally had to put his feet in other people's shoes, and that's why James Brown, his daughter, says she always be indebted to him, and then Jackie Robinson, his daughter, she was like, man, he was so accurate and so on point with her dad's character. Like all the frustrations that Jackie endured from racism and everything, and people picking on him and black people. And she said
Mhm.
they really felt their dad's frustrations and emotions through him. That's powerful.
That
And
is
dealing with cancer at the
at the
same
same
time.
time.
That's
Phew.
mm, mm. Bless that
That's an
man. Bless that
indomitable
man.
spirit.
Bless
That
his
is.
family. That
Yeah.
is something. I mean, if there are any
And
young
just
black people out
imagine.
there who uh just use your imagination, just the things that he went through would make anybody want to be like, okay, I can try again. I can do this. When one door opens, gotta open a window. When one window closes, gotta open a door. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Too. And the thing about it, he didn't even beat cancer. He might not have beat cancer, but he accomplished a whole lot of things in his life that a lot of people who
But
ain't
he
never had
dominated it.
uh nothing as small as the sneeze. He done so much more in his life dealing with that illness, that, oh God, man, F cancer. F
Right.
cancer.
Right.
Ooh.
Just,
Miss Hall said,
he was
notice me said Miss Hall. Mm-hmm.
We really were blessed with him.
Go
And
ahead.
just imagine if we are missing him as his fans. Just imagine the loss that his family friends are feeling. So I can honestly say my prayers and heartfelt condolences go out to his family and his friends, because his loss is a great loss to us, and because he was a role model, he how do I want to say this? I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
put too much. I don't want to make him any more than what he was in life, now in death. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he was.
Right,
He
right.
walked that walk and talked that talk. He was that good brother, that smart brother, that and he was humble. Any
Mm-hmm.
interview
Mm-hmm.
I ever seen him in, he was the humblest person. He was
He
laid
was.
back.
He really was.
He, and that makes a
Yeah.
difference. That makes a difference.
Mm,
And
right.
so his
You know
presence
what?
will definitely be missed.
You know what? Who was that? Oprah. Oprah actually has said something like that. She said, it's not just his art that we'll miss, but his absence. It's one thing to miss something somebody did, but it's another thing to miss their whole aura, their whole being. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
they are somebody we need more people like that amongst the
Right.
living.
Right.
More people like him. I definitely agree with Oprah. Um, but it was so many people. I mean, hundreds of people just pouring out tributes, just pouring people drawing big murals and drawings. And did you see the pictures with the little kids?
And the ones
The
when
little
he was in the
kids,
hospital with him.
not them, but the ones who got all their like Black Panther toys, and well, I know they're not called toys, but characters and
Action
uh
figures.
action figures, and they were taking pictures with them and holding their arms up and talking about, Wakanda forever, and
Oh,
things like that. So there's a lot of pictures going around of little kids posing with their action figures, in honor of him, especially with, of course, the T'Chilla
that's a testament.
character.
That's a testament
Hmm.
to a life well lived. That is a
Yeah,
testament to a life well lived.
it really
And
is.
you
Right.
know,
Now, what you think about
that's
this,
why.
homegirl?
Uh-oh.
What do you think about this? You said, "Uh-oh." No, 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 no. Something I have read. Like, okay, now they had said that Disney, they was working on and the director, they was working on part 2 of Black Panther.
Oh,
And
where they might let the
now,
sister take over?
see, I don't know. Everybody is kind of like, which direction should they go? And some people is like, should they even make a part 2? Like,
Why not?
will it ever be a better, you know, will it ever live up to the first one? Especially since T'Chilla isn't here. Or should they, not T'Chilla, but Chad?
T'Challa.
Or can he
Uh-huh.
be replaced? Do you think he can be replaced?
I think they should go on. You know why? Because we have,
Do
first
you
of all,
think
he
he
was
can?
it not so much replace him, but to continue on the Black Panther legacy, the saga. And I think making the sister
Uh-huh.
the next Black Panther would be a wonderful thing,
Uh-huh.
because
Hmm.
he was our first black superhero,
Oh,
and now to have a black female superhero would be
but you know
so
what?
powerful. Think about how many little black girls. I mean, not
Hmm.
just I mean, think about how many girls, but think about how many little black girls can see themselves represented on the big screen then.
You know what? I just thought about when you said that, like her replacing him. That kind of reminds me of a black president being replaced by a black female president.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
the thing about Wakanda, not Wakanda. The thing about I always call that movie Wakanda instead of Black Panther.
The Black
But
Panther.
but the thing about the Black Panther, it wasn't just a movie. It was a movement. It was. I mean, it was bigger than that. It was more than like some people was like, oh, it was a black movie. It wasn't a black movie. It was like a cultural moment. I mean, the first superhero film ever nominated for Best Picture Oscar. I mean, this movie
Right.
will always be remembered. Like years from now, man, generations from now, that's gonna be one of the movies like we had like a Friday or a Spike Lee movie or something like that. That's gonna be one of
Right.
those movies.
Right.
People gonna sit down with their kids, their children, their grands, and be like, "This was the first black superhero."
And not
This
only
it's
that,
gonna be
but
timeless.
for people that say this was a black movie, no, it just had what ticks them off is it had
Predominantly.
a right. It was a predominantly black cast. But think about how many movies we as black people, as Latinos, as Native Americans, as minority people have sat and watched movies. Hell, look at Friends. They was in New York City, 6 people. And you really gonna tell me what no black people in New York City? Really?
Oh, you
All
gonna get
these
folks
movies.
started, child. Don't be talking about they
I'm
friends TV show.
now, don't get me wrong, because I love Friends. I
But you
love
know what?
Friends.
I never even watched that show. You know what? I didn't watch that show till it went
Girl, I
off the
love
air,
Friends.
and then I wanted something to binge watch. So that's when
I
I
watched
watched
it every
Friends.
Thursday. Girl, I
I
used to watch
never
that every
watched it back
Thursday.
then. Shoot, I was into all the other shows, the black shows, and I was into all that other stuff. But it was a good show. I literally binge watched it, years after it went off the air, and I was like, dang, this was really a good
It was a
show, and these
good.
were really
It was.
friends. Like,
What it
yeah,
was, and they was funny as hell. They was stupid, all of them, in
uh,
their own ways. But
yes,
no,
man,
back to what I
yes.
was saying. Um, it made
What's up,
them
Mr. Pac
upset
Man?
because,
I say Mr. Pac Man,
but
Mr. Pac
they
1977.
you right, they did steal it, and they made it a more mainstream because it was white. They would,
Mm-hmm.
6 black people, friends living together. Oh no! But then all of a sudden
Yeah,
they see it worked, and now then they switched it and made it a white ensemble, and oh look, it does work.
yep.
But
And
anyway, what I was
just
saying,
like notice. Go ahead.
oh no, but what I was gonna say, as far as it being a black movie, it wasn't that, because if you focused on that, then you missed the whole point of the movie. There really was no villain in the movie. If you've ever watched it and paid attention, they were just saying we are both, we're just different sides of the same coin.
Right.
And why
Mm-hmm.
should you have the monopoly on this technology and have this peaceful world and not help your own brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I get
And
it. And like
although Killmonger, I didn't like it. I mean, Killmonger, I always root for the underdog. That's just me. But his ways of doing stuff was kind of messed up. But,
uh-huh.
you know, he was correct in wanting to take that same technology, that same knowledge, and to help his community, to bring peace
Yeah,
to his community. So,
true.
And we have to think of life that way too, like, eh, I mean, I guess sometimes I
Yeah,
get
because it
mad.
wasn't like it had more than it had a more meaningful message in the movie. Like I had to watch the movie several times, and I will continue to watch it. I love that movie. But when you first
Hmm.
watch it, the first thing you mainly thinking of is all the superheroes they fighting, they doing this, they doing that. But if you sit and
Hmm.
actually watch and listen and learn, it's a very
Hmm.
meaningful movie, and just like Notice Me said, it made some people angry because they kept on saying all black powerful cast could not sell and end up breaking sales records. And not only did they break sales records, that was the most impactful action figure Marvel superhero movie. It impacted and moved like every race. It might have been a
Right,
predominantly black film, but it moved every race. I mean, from a brilliant storyline, magical scenes, talented actors and actresses. Man,
right.
and we got a black superhero out of it. Man, it was epic. It was epic.
It really was. It really was. And you know what else it proved? It proved the power of the black dollar. See, they always think that
Amen. Amen.
we can't, make a statement with our money. Oh, your dollar ain't gonna impact this, or you
Uh
know what?
huh.
Yeah, you can boycott. It's not gonna mean nothing. But they showed. Black people
Mm-hmm.
showed up and showed out, and
Right.
they showed that the
Right.
black dollar is just as impactful as any other races.
Our as our counterparts. But you know
Hmm.
what? Another thing, Karma Diva. Another thing,
What's
Karma
that? What's
Diva.
that? What's that?
It was a strong message in his. It was a strong message in his life as far as giving back to. Like we know that he gave back to his community. He gave back to people who weren't even in his community. To the
Right,
sick and
right.
shut in. People dealing with the same cancers that he was. One thing that I thought was really impactful was how um a few years ago at the awards when Denzel received that award and he did the speech and gave him that award, he had mentioned how Denzel, it wouldn't be no Tashilla, it wouldn't be no Wakanda, it wouldn't be, without Denzel Washington, because at one time when he was in
Denzel
college
was his
and
benefactor.
then he was his benefactor, and Felicia Rashad, she was his mentor and teacher. And when
Hmm.
she had heard that him and a few other students, had won or not won, but was granted a spot over in the UK at Oxford for more training and
Yeah.
acting, they didn't have the money to do it.
Uh-huh.
She must have hit up Denzel, and she said in less than a 5-minute conversation, he said, "I got five on it." I mean,
Right,
he said I got in on it. He said how much you need. I mean, and then ever
right.
since then, Denzel has seen him one time, and Denzel told him, you owe me, bro. I'm here to collect. But he did. Of course, that was a joke. It was a joke. But what he wanted
Right.
to do, and like most other people who give somebody a hand up, they want people to give back. And I think he definitely did that. Even
Oh
when he
yeah.
was on his sick bed, he gave back. And you know what? He paid Denzel back for giving him that hands up.
Right,
And
and
that
not
is
a
a lot of things.
handout.
Right. Not a handout. All these people out here, all these rich people out here, they see talented people and they walk right past them because they don't want to buy them, especially when they start getting old. You know, they don't want to help out the younger
That
brothers
and
and sisters.
they don't want that competition either, because think about it, especially, and here I go, I'm gonna go a little deeper, because you think about
Go
it,
ahead.
when a man gets older, he gets more debonair and sexy and this and that, but when a woman gets older, she gets replaced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with
That's
them
true.
being men, you know, it was a little easy. They find competition with each other.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of competition with women. It's like soon as you get a gray hair or something, or soon as your boobs
Girl,
start sagging, they trying to replace you with an 18-year-old, and you only in your
huh?
30s.
You be like, wait a
That happens in
minute.
relationships. That happened in relationships too.
Right. But while we are on this subject, you and I kind of touched on it before we went live, but
Uh-huh.
I, as far as getting checkups,
Oh yeah.
we as minorities, me being a former nurse, I've seen it where people have waited too long to go and get checkups. Please, 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 people, get your yearly exams. Get
Mhm.
your blood work
Mhm.
done. Get your colonoscopy. Get your mammograms. Get your pap
Right.
smears. Get your prostate exam. These
And
are things,
earlier is better.
yes,
Early is
early
key.
detection. Yes.
You saw on the news they said they used to tell people 50 and up to get checked for colon cancer, but they said now, especially if you are black, if you are African American, starting at the
Probably
age of
35.
45, they said starting at the age of 45, if not earlier, depending on, your your family members, if
Mm-hmm.
anybody else in your family has had it, at least 45. Start around 45 and get checked because, Chad, he found out when he was in stage 2, and
No, he found
it
out he was
it got
stage 3.
was it stage 3? Stage 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so and that's why I was saying, we know that he knew that he was diagnosed in 2016 and he died in 2020. And like I was saying earlier, who knows when he first caught it? Because usually with cancer, you can go 6 months, a year, if not longer
Mm-hmm.
before you. So he could have had the cancer like a whole year or so in advance, and he was still working and grinding from before he knew it
Mm-hmm.
till he knew it and beyond. But
So,
some people,
and if
it,
you
it-
are prone to forgetting things, what I used to tell my patients, um, a way to remember it is to do it around your birthday or an
mm,
anniversary, somewhere, sometime that you will remember.
yeah,
For me personally, I go and get my checkups in and around my birthday within a week before or a week after my birthday because I know, okay, it's my birthday time
hmm
to go get checked up. And notice me, you are correct as far as doctors. A lot of time, they and it's not just black people. They tell people all the time, oh, it's called white coat syndrome. They tell them, oh, oh, you're okay. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. And like I used to tell my patients, nobody knows your
take two of
body
these and call me in the
better
morning.
than you do. And I've had to tell
Amen.
my doctors
And
too.
then
I
another
can't hear you,
thing.
Tanya.
Oh, hold on. Should I go back?
I can't hear you. But what I was saying, I've had to tell my doctors, especially with this fibromyalgia and the nerve damage and everything, um, you cannot treat every patient the same.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, cool
But you
beans.
can't treat every patient the same. Every patient, you cannot have a cookie cutter um, treatment plan because everybody's pain is different. Everybody's journey in life is different. And what
Right.
hurts me may not hurt the next person. So
Correct.
um, I say this, and I've told people this, and I meant it. If you don't get the answer you need from this doctor, I don't care how much you love that doctor, he's been the family doctor for 20 years, you can always get a second opinion and a
Thank you.
third and a fourth if you need to until you
Exactly.
get the answers that you need.
Yep. Get two, three, four opinions, and then I mean, do research, talk to other people who's had it. I mean, if you
Right.
gotta, save up all your
If,
pennies, set up a
if you got a
GoFundMe,
shouting for,
whatever it takes to travel to see another doctor, whatever it takes. And a lot of these cancer places now, they have it so fit up and accessible for people to come from different states, and
right.
they will set you up. They will give you vouchers for hotels. It's so much easier
And I
easier
tell you,
than it used to be.
Bergen, Bergen Mercy here in Omaha has
Hmm.
one of the most comprehensive and wonderful cancer centers you'd ever go to.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, with all the stuff that was going on with me,
Mhm.
um, just the most wonderful doctors and nurses, and the facility is
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing, and the way they treat the patients, every patient's voice
Yeah.
matters, and that's what truly that helps with the healing process.
Yeah, it really
When
does. Hmm.
But yeah, as far
But
like I
notice me
said
is
with her,
right. Like when you don't have no insurance, it is hard. It is hard. I get
it
it.
is
I
it
get
is
it. And that's when you have to rely on people, your circle, your loved ones. I see people all the time having fundraisers, doing car washes, having all kind of benefits, raising money at church, pass the offering plate around three, four, five times if you have to. GoFundMe's, just all kind of different things, to raise some money. I know how it is. Trust me, I know how it is. I mean, I got insurance, but I understand. I definitely
yeah,
understand. I'm just saying that it's a lot easier because they have a lot more things available now that they did
accessibility.
in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
Right, right.
A lot more
And a lot of
accessibility,
these
the better. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, and I was gonna say, notice me, a lot of these places have patient assistance programs where it's income based, and you I know personally people who should have had medical bills in the thousands of dollars, and they've literally only had to pay maybe $100, $200 for the treatment. So,
Yeah,
and I mean, but don't get me wrong, if you don't have the money, $200 might as well be 2 million. I get
thank
that.
you.
But there are
Who you
times
telling?
when there are times when it is necessary to make that doctor bill to in order to make your health better.
Yeah,
Sometimes we got
and
to
you know
bite the
what?
bullet and
Yep,
go
I had
ahead.
posted. I had actually posted. Remember that post I posted on my Facebook? I was asking for a friend, somebody who is off of work on unemployment, and they got sick and they need some medicine that costs a lot. And I was asking people for recommendations so this person get assistance with their prescription. And people was just do this, go here, call here, call here, try the good RX or something. It was a lot of different recommendations. Come to find out, I had the person look at my post. The medicine that cost them almost $500, they got for like 30 by just by recommendations from me, because I didn't know where to tell them to go. I didn't. When you know me,
You
Karma
know
Diva,
what?
when I don't know
And
nothing, I will Google. I will post it on Facebook. I will ask a friend of a friend. You know I will, and that's exactly what I did.
Well, see,
And they
I'm
have been.
blessed because I worked in the medical field, and so I am still on good terms with a lot of the doctors and nurses that I have worked with. So, um, and then not only that, just having worked there, I know so many ins and outs. But a lot of time, if you are prescribed a certain medication and it's very expensive, go to that the website.
The
All these
manufacturer.
medications have all of these websites. I mean, all of these medications have websites.
Yep,
A lot of
that's right.
time, They have their own patient assistance program, and they will give it to you when I
Mhm.
say at a discounted rate. Like there was one medication that I had to take, it was $2,000 a month.
Mhm.
And after signing up for their program, I thank God I'm not even playing. I ended up paying like $45 a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there are resources. There are a lot of things, and see, the thing is, a lot of people don't talk about these resources that are out there and available to people. But
Right.
like you did, Tanya, you did right. You ask questions. You ask people, hey, well, what
I
are
didn't
you
know.
doing? How do you
Shoot.
do this? Well, and that's how the
I don't know.
information gets out.
Yeah.
I, contact
And you
your
never know.
insurance.
It might be somebody
Right.
else on my Facebook friend list who'll be like, "Oh, hold up. Oh my God. I needed some expensive medicine. I don't know how to get. So you never know. You might be asking for one person and you might be able to help somebody else who didn't even come to you for assistance, who had no idea where to go. I had one cousin, you probably met her before, but she has been on disability for quite some time now and has had to fight disability, go to court, get lawyer, all kind of things. She's been
Girl,
through a lot.
you already
But
know
yeah,
my
she done
struggles
been to
with
where
disability.
she know how to. I mean, if anything, like where to get medicine, where to get free stuff, like free furniture, stoves, appliances, beds.
Mm-hmm.
She knows because she done been there to where she's been on disability for a long time. So on a limited income, a budget, and she will tell you she got
Mm-hmm.
like a notebook full of all kind of different resources. And so when she hear me talk about somebody who's going through something, she said, "Tell them call me. Tell them call me." So
Right.
yeah. So
And see,
resources.
my struggle with disability a couple of years ago when they arbitrarily decided, oh, she's no longer disabled. And
Uh-huh.
when they sent me that letter, I was kind of like, oh, I'm not? Okay.
hmm
So when I contacted my doctor and I'm telling him, he was like, since when? I didn't sign off on that. And I'm
Right.
like, well, I got a letter here. He was like, until I take you off, you are still medically disabled. And I was like,
Right.
well, and at that point, they had cut my insurance, they cut my monthly check. So I had nothing coming in. I had no way to get to my doctor's appointments. And I mean, when I say stressed, I mean, you're already stressed because you are sick. And then to add this on top of it, then they kept claiming they were losing my paperwork. So, you know, like I told them, first of all, the money that I'm getting, it's not coming from your pocket. This is money that I have paid into Social Security for since I was 16 years old. And second of all, I said, oh, y'all want to lose my paperwork? Okay. Honey, I had to play the nut roll. I went in there with my hair all over my head. I had on house shoes. I was like yelling, where the next operator at? Where they at? They was looking like, oh my God, trying to get security to come. No, you didn't bring, no, no, no. You stay 5 feet behind me. Don't you touch me. And they looking. I got to the window and the girl was like, can I help you? Yep, go get your manager. Well, what
I
can
know
I
that's
do for
right.
you? You can go get your manager because ain't nothing you can do for me. And after that, honey, I told them, I said, you know what? I'm about to be your biggest pain in the ass. And I meant that because I told them, I said, y'all decided that I was no longer disabled. You did not consult me. You didn't talk to my doctors, nothing. I said, it's funny y'all said I'm not disabled, but I see 6 different doctors. And then the one chick had the nerve to tell me, well, I mean, it's taking me so long to go through your case because you literally have like 1,000 pages in here. I said, well, if I got 1,000 pages in there, then that means something's wrong, right?
Right.
I mean, that would in normal people's head. So I told her, I said, well, sweetheart, you take your time. I said, because what I'm going to
Mhm.
do is I'm going to call you every day, multiple times a day, until you get this paperwork done. And when I'm not calling you, I'm going to be calling your supervisor multiple times
Yep.
a day.
Yep.
Honey, they could not wait to get that pay. But I'm like, don't play with me because see, you're playing with my life and my kids' lives. And when it comes to my babies, oh no, don't.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
I know that's right.
But
Sure. We love the kids. We love the kids.
right, you already know how I am about my babies. But my point is, don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Keep
Hmm.
fighting. And
Right.
they'll do that to people, and they want you to get discouraged. They want you to stop. And no, it's not their money. It ain't coming out their pocket. No,
Oh,
keep
notice
fighting.
me. I know she got paid. If she ever got, man, I'm telling you, I know people who got paid big bucks. But when y'all get paid them big bucks, after y'all been waiting years to get a payment from the disability, man, don't fly through that. How many people you know get those big old bucks and they fly through that money? Like
Not
you've
me.
been
Mine
waiting all
lasted
these
for a
years.
minute.
I mean, a lot of people it don't. Just like an insurance settlement.
You know what I
Or
did?
kids who get injured when they're young and they can't get their money till they
Yeah,
19,
I
or
hate that.
like, somebody left them some money
I
in the
Now what
will
I
or
did
something.
was I caught up on bills, all the bills that had gotten behind. I caught up on the bills. I paid back people who I've been borrowing from. Um, and then because that was around the time I started losing all that weight real fast, I had to buy I really did have to buy a whole new wardrobe. And Tanya tell you, I went from a big girl to, I went from like a size 24 to I'm down to a 12. So I had to buy a new wardrobe because my clothes was literally falling off of me.
You better give me them clothes.
Come and get them.
And Jewel said, "Hey, Jewel, you said even finding the right attorney to do the simplest job, man. It is hard. I know my mother, and I know a lot of people, including my mother, who have to go through that, where she was visibly disabled, and it took years and years, and then she got paid, and she didn't. My mother, she's very what do you call it? When you don't spend a lot of money, very meager, very frugal.
Oh,
So
okay.
that money lasted quite a long time. But yeah, there's a lot of people who that money slipped right through their fingers before they know it. But I know we've been on here for almost an hour. I just want to say, do you got any last things to say about him before we wrap this up?
Just, I thank God that we were blessed with his presence for the amount of time that we were, that his light truly shine. God, they say, let your light shine so men may see your word and
Yeah.
glorify your Father in heaven. And his light definitely shone. And, I'm thankful that he shared that talent with the world. He shared it with us. And just, say prayer, not only just for him, but think of others. Go out
Right.
of your way, out of your comfort zone to help somebody else. Because, see,
Hmm.
when you are blessing them, you're blessing yourself too. And
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
literally, you can take an hour out of your week to spend it and talk to somebody. It
Exactly.
makes the world a difference to them, and you may even come out enlightened, feeling better. So now is the time that we need to come together, and we need to stop thinking of self and start thinking of us as a collective.
Exactly, exactly. And one thing I just like to say to wrap this up, we might have lost our black superhero. He is no longer with us. He's still here in spirit, but there's still a lot of people out here who are capable of being black superheroes, not on the big screen, but in real day life. So take a
Right.
look at his life, a lot of things that he did, giving back to his community, back to people with cancer while he was dealing with cancer. I mean, this man lived a great, great life, but he walked the walk and he talked the talk, and he put his time in. He paid back his debt to those who, and it wasn't really a debt that Denzel gave to him. It was a hand up, but he made sure that he took that and he ran with that, and he gave it back.
Mhm.
He gave back.
Mhm.
He so happened to have died on the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington, and the day Major League Baseball recognizes as Jackie Robinson Day, which is one of the movies that he played in, and he did a great job. He endured countless surgeries, chemotherapy, while working on so many films in a 4-year span. He was also all about justice for his people. During his own fight for survival, he spent time visiting 6 kids at places like St. Jude's who were also battling cancer. He was brilliant, graceful, articulate, intelligent, handsome, loving, caring, giving, thoughtful. He was an activist. He was special.
Mhm.
And just like
Mhm.
Oprah said, we're not just going to miss his art, we're going to miss his presence. And
Right.
even a few weeks before he died, his final tweet was regarding Senator Kamala Harris, who is the VP nominee with Biden for presidency. And he was thanking her and congratulating her, for becoming, VP nominee. And he told us, get out there, exercise your right to vote. Don't sleep on democracy, but participate in it and find your place in it.
Right.
And like everybody have been saying on the news right now, the doctors, scientists, news commentators, this man was 43 years old and in perfect health from our eyes. Perfect
Seemingly,
health,
yeah. Yeah.
seemingly perfect health. We would have never known. And we need to get checked. We need to get checked early. If you feel like something is wrong with your body, like Carmel Diva said, only we know our own body. So we have to listen to
Mhm.
our body, and we have to act on those feelings, on those pains, and get and seek treatment and medication right away. And not only that,
Mhm.
but continue to strive to always be a better person each day, and maybe one day you'll also be a superhero to somebody else too. That's all I have to say.
Well, all
Rest in
right.
heaven. Rest in peace. Rest in heaven. Chadwick
Rest in
Boseman.
power, brother.
Yes, yes. Tribute to a king. He will always be our king of Wakanda. And on that note, can we all do Wakanda forever?
Wakanda forever.
Yes,
Who would have
yes,
thought
yes.
us in Omaha would be saying Wakanda forever, knowing that little ghetto school up there?
Yes, we got a school right up the street named Wakanda that my kids used to go to for grade school. Wakanda.
Little ghetto school.
But yes. So everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the Hood Table, and to the Hood Nation, to the Hood Table Squad. Make
Hood
sure you guys
squad.
stay posted, because we're gonna be doing some private chats with just me. And if Karma Diva want to join me, we're gonna have like private member chats. Private discussions, have a little fun, give away some things, things like that for the members. So if you would like to become a member, just hit the join button. And who was that?
Your
Mr.
sound
Pack
went out again,
1977?
sweetheart. But let's just say, in the meantime, in between time, everybody stay safe, stay smart, stay blessed.
Yes, you too. You can't hear me, but I still hear myself because I can hear myself on my phone. But
Good
I just
night,
want to
y'all.
say Mr. Pack 1977 said Tanya for mayor. She can't hear me right now, but I'm gonna kick her out since she said good night. But you said Tanya for mayor of Omaha. Yes, he will be missed so much. Slim 2 was a Slim 2, just hard to believe. I know, I know. Ooh, I love that picture. Your profile picture is so beautiful. I love it. Looking good in that white. Yes. Good night. Good night. Notice me. Good night, everybody in the chat. Thanks again for tuning in tonight. Everybody, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Hood Table. And if you feel like blessing the Hood Table at any time, remember our Cash App is the Hood Table 402. And on that note, stay blessed, be safe, and I'm out. Deuces. Thank you, Jewel. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, love. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.